All right, welcome back into the Right Now studio. I'm Chris Gros, joined as always here by Jack Hall. We've been covering the gubernatorial race here at length in recent weeks. It's been one that obviously has had a number of different sort of plot twists, if you will, and has not been the sort of easy governor's race. I mean, this is a state where Democrats outnumber Republicans 2-1. A lot of these sort of statewide races are oftentimes, from outsiders' point of view, sort of castaways like, oh, don't worry, Democrats. But because there are so many Democrats in the race, that's thrown a wrench in things. Yeah. Endorsements have thrown a wrench in things on both sides. The lack of endorsements on both sides have thrown a wrench in things. So we want to bring in our Jenny Huh to kind of sort through everything, because we are sort of seeing a whittling down. This is Jenny Huh. Of course, you guys have seen her here on air on our show before, our State Matters Here reporter based out of Sacramento. And Jenny, I think for a lot of people right now, what they are maybe wondering is, are we seeing momentum in going in the favor of one candidate or not? I mean, I didn't even get a chance to mention, obviously, the whole Eric Swalwell saga that, of course, included the number of sexual misconduct allegations, him dropping out of the race, resigning from Congress. But we haven't really seen one candidate sort of step up yet, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think that's kind of the big takeaway from that big televised debate with 6 candidates on Wednesday as well. Just as it is with the state of the race, we didn't see any clear front runner, any clear winner of that debate. So like you both said, to say that a lot has happened in the gubernatorial race is an understatement. Fewer candidates now to track, sure, with the exit of Eric Swalwell. And I want to be clear, he has denied those allegations, but he did resign from Congress and he did suspend his campaign. We also have the exit of former Democratic candidate Betty Yee, who said she just quite frankly didn't see a future for her campaign moving forward. So she is now out of the race. But for voters, remember, both their names are still on the ballot. It's just that if you vote for them, the vote technically wouldn't be counted because, again, the two have suspended their campaign. So after Swalwell's exit, especially, we are seeing a lot of momentum behind Javier Becerra, former California State Attorney General and former Health and Human Services Secretary under President Biden. So we're seeing a lot of momentum behind him, as well as San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan. I will say more so for Becerra, especially online and on social media. So again, back to that debate on Wednesday, the big question I think for folks was to see if either Becerra and or Mahan could make some sort of impact. This momentum that we are seeing, can they build on it? Can they really deliver a bang to voters who are tuning in for a chance for candidates to, in real time, finally interact with each other? The main takeaway that I'm hearing is that it was quite lackluster. We didn't see any, big confrontational moments. We didn't quite have the chance to go deep into issues affecting our state, like the budget crisis, homelessness, the gas tax, right? And then on the Republican side, obviously you have Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton. Steve Hilton has that endorsement of President Donald Trump. But again, how do the two Republicans differentiate from each other? That was a big focus of the debate as well. Yeah. And what I'm hearing is that, quite frankly, we didn't see that either. The two Republicans failed to kind of distinguish themselves from one another.
Yeah, especially after Steve Hilton got the Trump endorsement, but he wasn't able to get the endorsement at the California GOP convention, which is that you were there. That was here in San Diego. So maybe if we could pick your brain about that too, because it's been a few weeks since we've had you on. What did you see there? Did you see? And now correct me if I'm wrong. They did the vote. No one, neither of them were able to reach the threshold to get an official endorsement. Wasn't it actually Bianco that was ahead of Hilton despite a Trump endorsement? Like, what does that tell you?
That's exactly correct. You needed 60% of the delegation vote, 60% or more to get the party endorsement. Again, like you said, that did not happen. I think that is an emphasis on the very concern that Republicans have raised, which is that in a state like California, the Trump endorsement either may not matter or it may end up hurting the candidate more. Obviously, an endorsement from the President of the United States, it's a big deal It shows that even the president is paying attention to California politics. But again, California is known to stand up against the Trump administration on a national platform. And so to have that Trump endorsement, and even Republicans at the convention acknowledge this, it doesn't sway their vote or their worry that if it's Hilton instead of Bianco that advances to the top two with the Democrat, that could actually end up hurting Hilton because you know that he is that Trump-backed candidate. So the fact that there was no party endorsement at the convention despite the Trump endorsement, again, emphasizes kind of how tricky it is in terms of California and Trump's relationship.
Yeah, I remember when we heard about the endorsement, the first person we thought of was you, and we've mentioned your namesake multiple times because you said, if I was a Republican strategist, I would say, we do not want this endorsement because we want the top two to be virtually neck and neck. So when we heard about that endorsement, we thought this is the antithesis of what we thought was going to be the strategy. But we just haven't really seen that big of a change. So, I mean, it's just add that to the list of surprises in this campaign so far.
Yeah, and as we know, President Trump, despite what maybe many political analysts and campaign sort of experts will tell him, he does sort of tend to go ahead and do his own thing, especially when it comes to the job of kingmaking, if you will, within the Republican Party. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily had the sort of impact yet that we thought in terms of it kind of working out negative. We're still seeing Bianco and Hilton in the Rusty Hicks polls, as I like to call them, as those are released by the Democratic Party here in the state of California. We still see two Republicans there at the top. One of the things that you mentioned, Jenny, was sort of the rise of Javier Becerra, someone who may have the resume for the job, but may not have the sort of candor or personality that some of the other Democrats have, especially when it comes to the not, I wouldn't say viral, but just sort of the media cachet, if you will. One of the other things that I want to bring this towards is that we have not heard from Governor Gavin Newsom about a potential endorsement. Now, many people have speculated that doesn't have the greatest relationship with Tom Steyer. Maybe wouldn't necessarily back a Katie Porter or at the time then an Eric Swalwell. And a lot of the other candidates, especially ones who have worked under his administration, were polling in such low single-digit numbers that would it be worth him endorsing? Becerra's rise here, does this sort of open the door for Newsom to sort of now play the role of kingmaker, do you think?
I think potentially, but quite frankly, my analysis of this is that before the Swalwell dropout, when Swalwell had all that momentum and was seen as the leading Democratic candidate, that's when it kind of seemed like Newsom would weigh in soon. But then after that fallout of Swalwell, I think now we're all kind of waiting a bit. You saw a lot of these major labor unions and political figures quickly take back their endorsement of Eric Swalwell and then endorse other candidates like Steyer or Becerra instead. I will say even the California legislature is quite divided between Steyer and Becerra. You have Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas, for example, who just announced the endorsement of Javier Becerra this week, in addition to some legislators. But you have just as many legislators that are endorsing the more progressive candidate, Tom Steyer. So I just want to note, even the legislature is divided. The Newsom endorsement is interesting. What I'm hearing is that perhaps it's not so much of a benefit to any candidate to have the Newsom endorsement because yes, he leaves behind a legacy, especially when it comes, to Prop 50 and standing up against Trump and being that, leading figure. But he also leaves behind a legacy of a state budget deficit, of homelessness unresolved, of an affordability crisis, right? Issues that he promised to deliver on that he quite frankly has not delivered on. So will we see him weigh in? Maybe, maybe not. But then again, I think you have a lot of party leaders that stepped in a bit too late in terms of trying to consolidate the field and play kingmaker. So again, one, remains to be seen whether he will endorse. Two, the questions down the road are, is the endorsement going to be beneficial for any candidate?
Because I think even the question that we heard during the debate about how would you grade Governor Gavin Newsom, I think that essentially you saw the candidate sort of almost televising the response and sort of speaking flattering. Even Matt Mahan, who was the closest to actually criticizing Governor Gavin Newsom, still said, well, it's a D for implementation, but I give him, I believe it was a B for effort. So even sort of like wishy-washy on that. No Democrat willing to really go after Governor Gavin Newsom also. So I guess for all intents and purposes, kind of hoping to still hear about an endorsement probably, right?
Yeah, I think that is a proper analysis of it. How kind of soft-spoken a lot of the Democrats, especially Javier Becerra, who's very generous
Yeah.
in giving the governor an A for effort, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that is the correct analysis of why they were hesitant to be very critical of Newsom.
Okay, so Jenny, before we let you go, when do we have the next opportunity to see these candidates on this on the stage? I know ballots are going to be coming out here next month for those who do mail-in ballot. We've got the primary coming up in June. Are we going to see another debate? And then, if so, when and where?
We're seeing two upcoming televised debates that have been confirmed. There's a CBS one next week, and I
Okay.
believe that is all candidates actually that have been confirmed. Maybe except Katie Porter. I'm not sure if she's officially confirmed yet,
Okay.
but all candidates have been invited. So that's going to be kind of the big one to see because, again, we haven't seen Antonio Villaraigosa and Tony Thurmond take to these major debate stages because they have been the lower polling candidates. So that's next week. And then in early May, we'll have a CNN televised debate as well. So, again, a lot of opportunities still for voters to really pay attention. So, as busy as it has been, I
Yeah.
would encourage voters to start paying attention, especially with ballots going out starting May 4th.
And might I add a shameless plug? That first one, that CBS one, is going to be airing right here on
Right here
CBS 8
on
Plus.
CBS 8.
So I
Awesome.
had to.
There you go. All right. Well, Jenny,
Tune
thank
in.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Tune in. And then, Jenny, I imagine we're going to be having you on right after that to go ahead and break it all down yet again. So, Jenny,
Oh,
thank you so
yes.
much for joining us here.